Welcome back, everybody, to Breakout Esports Masters Series. My name is Artie, his name is Rio, and we are here to bring the second game of today, and that's going to be LRC versus Grief Party.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun. LRC is a known name, and Grief Party is a new team, but they are made up with a couple of players that we've seen before. Who were the two that we saw in
Absolutely, that's going to
MX?
be NetX and MXKX. They have Carnifex as their third, and Carnifex is a well-known player. And so NetX and MXKX have played together in this event before. I believe all the players have played together before. Not sure if they stacked before, but NetX is a returning star of the show here for today, and we're going to see what this team is going to be able to do up against a team like LRC. Now, LRC actually has Kelcam subbing in for them today. You might remember LRC from the incredible player Nason. Nason, the French absolute crazy guy with all of the defib kills that you have seen here on the Masters Series. So it's going to be an explosive match, to say the least. This might as well be the grand finals right here.
Yeah, and I do vividly remember that defib kill, and I would be excited to see it again. No pressure, but make us excited, make us proud.
I think that Nason has hit 3 defib kills in this series already. It's kind of crazy. And so, hey, we're starting off on Seoul. The least picked map is going to be the one to start on here. These teams are high tier teams. And so to start off on Seoul means that they have something cooking. Not only that, but next map going to be Sis Horizon. I love a good Sis Horizon map too. Just like we just saw before, it can get crazy. And the decider on Skyway, couldn't think of a better place to have map 3.
Yeah, I can't believe we're seeing Soul come out. I think that's just fun to see the differences, and really two good teams playing on this should make it just supremely exciting, and tons of destruction, tons of just fighting. And as I mentioned earlier, this is a map that has a lot of verticality, a lot of height that you don't see, a lot of like really long distances, and it's easy to see why it gets banned the most. So it should be easy to see why I'm so excited to see it first. Followed up by Sis Horizon, which is just everybody's favorite at this point, and then finally the decider on Skyway Stadium. Just kind of good games all around, and I think that LRC and Grief Party are going to give us a great match.
Absolutely. And but it is going to be Grief Party. NetX and MXKX are probably one of the most compacted duos I've seen in the finals. Synergy with your team is everything. And, you know, LRC having a sub might throw things off a little bit. Now, again, I don't know how NetX and MXKX are, how in tune they are with their new third, but the biggest thing is going to be that this is still the lower bracket run. Whoever wins still has work to do, but if I were Team No Idea, if I were Mr. Derp's team, I'd be watching this match very, very closely, because your opponent is going to come from this matchup here, and they're going to have to throw everything at the table in order to make sure they have a competitive edge to stay in. And so whoever comes out of this taking on No Idea afterwards, No Idea, you better be doing your homework right now.
You better find an idea.
Better have an idea, right?
There
Exactly. But yeah, so it's always going to come down to what kind of play style we can expect from these teams. Now, I know that NetX is a good switch between heavy and medium. He can play both when it is needed. Has been preferring the heavy in these events recently. So if we do see NetX pull out the heavy, NetX is one of the players that will often switch between Lewis Gun and SA-1216, depending on the map. And on Seoul, obviously, it's going to be a good Lewis Gun map, maybe even a good M60 map. I know that players are actually pulling out the other LMG, given the fact that, you know, the Lewis Gun just gets nerf after nerf.
Yeah,
We
it's so
have
sad.
seen it come through in competitive play a little bit, but you know, time will tell, right? Once we get into character select, we can actually see what we got to work with.
Yep. And I don't think we're going to see any more lights. They're already pretty rare, but I do love seeing, good light gameplay. But also mediums and heavies, they definitely keep the mix interesting as well. Like you said about the Lewis gun, it used to be one of my favorites, but it just pulls so weird to the left now that I just don't think it's viable after you hold down for more than a few shots, and it just makes it really impactful for when you need to kind of stay concentrated on a group of people. Yeah. So we'll see.
All
It
right.
looks like.
So Carnifex is a light player here.
Wow.
This is interesting to see. NetX is pulling out the heavy with the shield, and if we go ahead and check the other side on Grief Party, well, I do believe that I saw for a brief moment heavy double medium. Yep, there it is. So we're not going to be seeing. Oh wait, I don't see. Oh, so Kelcam is not actually on LRC today. He is on the roster as a sub, but it looks like he doesn't need to go in just yet. So this is going to be the classic LRC roster here. Double medium heavy up against Grief Party's medium heavy light.
Just take this pad immediately here.
Yeah, and it looks like we do have the suspended structure, or I forget what it's called, where the middle of the map is all lifted. I think under construction is maybe what it's called. And we see that LRC is the first one to open the vault. Grief Party kind of gets set up. It seems like everyone now is just bringing along the glitch barrel. It's so impactful. It's just kind of like a thing to, you see it, grab it. And we just see Grief Party just kind of holding out. I think they're not going to push until the vault is completely open. They're getting set up because they know that LRC is probably going to come this way towards them. And if not, they're in kind of a good position to kind of watch wherever they are. We see LRC jumping across the bridge, which I'm curious will stay standing for much longer.
It's huge, but yeah, MXKX barely makes it across. Very James Bond-esque there. Huge port made there as the portal actually opens up a very good opportunity to trade height out here. But look at that. Oh my god. Grief Party almost had the largest brain play I've seen all day, and this is the first team fight. He baited the barrel. He baited Grief Party to cross all the way over to the hospital before yeeting the barrel back to the other side where his team was waiting. Only one member of LRC pushed over to the hospital to make them think it was going to be a B push, but instead they were waiting for the A cash out. Such a huge brain play to start the day off. That sets the tone for what's coming next.
We see Grief Party starting to push in. They're holding off, going after Heavy, trying to chip him down. The Heavy's just getting pushed further and further away, and I think he's going to actually jump that away, just try and save. Doesn't get it. Black goes down. And MX just kind of takes the win and gives us the cat voice a couple of times, because that was definitely impactful.
It was almost a good stagger from LRC, because remember, they lost one of their players early on, and I was hoping, I think that what they were hoping was to buy enough time for him to coin in, but by that point, you're still trading off having too many players, you know, not available for that team fight when you need all of them, and so it was just off. The timing could have worked out, but still a big start to the day here. LRC might need to change some things up going forward, but I like where their head's at already. We do see that the crane is going down, so Grief Party doesn't have to worry about height. They have the pad ready here. The pad gets taken away early. No way to jump on for that damage. Artifact's going to go down to low HP, has to disengage from the fight. We are going to see MXKX go down. That means that there's no heals remaining at the time, but as Carnifex drops as well, we just have NetX holding out the last bastion of the Heavy. Unfortunately, he's going to be stuck in the vault animation, can't get back up in time, and that is going to be LRC winning this team fight.
Yeah, and this is kind of what I remember from LRC. Like, they can really just dive onto a point and assert their dominance, and we see that just happen again. They might have lost the first fight in the vault to Grief Party, but you know, they definitely have some staying power.
I tried to drop on the fucking Heavy, bro. Like, he was also stunned, by the way, and I'm just shooting him.
And MXKX really has some great aim. I was watching him just destroy everything around him. That F car really has some good damage it can do on it, and it's pretty exciting to see somebody like that behind it.
I'm 1 HP.
Oh, absolutely, and check this out. The damage output is coming through. Unfortunately, NetX can't get healed up. They're just focusing on trying to at least win the team fight here. They know that, you know, before they started that cash fight, they knew that it wasn't going to end in a steal, so at the very least, just do your best to win the team fight, to get a little bit more aim practice in before the next one. Looks like NetX, though, is going to be able to recover a little bit. Carnifex doing his best to actually make this work out for the team. Good stun there. The res is coming through. You just have to disengage at that point. But it looks like MXKX can get soft res back up, and, you know, while it wasn't the team fight that we wanted, it was the team fight we needed.
1 minute dead.
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And that chase at the end, you can see that they're really eager to kind of get the kills and still show that they are able to at least bring down the enemy team and then show them that maybe the losing the vault is more just a random chance than anything. It really just kind of shows and flexes their skill. We see them getting set up, mega damage is enabled. Vault 2, let's see if it has any impact. And it is a little weird, the Grief Party is just not going towards it, the entire team. We see MXKX just holding off. Here, I'm guessing he's waiting for LRC to kind of charge at him, or getting set up so that they can take it directly to Vault C, which they're right next to.
Yeah, I heard him hospital,
I wish that we had the LRC. I wish we had their POV because I think that we missed a Nasan defib kill in the last team fight. So he's already pulled it out. The first team fight, it's kind of insane. Also, look at how the crane fell. It's so rare to see the crane fall in a way that's useful, and it actually fell to make a bridge all the way over to the data center. That's super funny.
Yeah, there is a skillful way to do that, or at least most of the time. I have never been able to pull it off, but it is cool to see when it does turn into its own little bridge. And we see MXKX set up. He gets an RPG, but it doesn't do a lot of damage, kind of hit the side of him. Both teammates are getting shot at. There's a lot of pouncing going on.
Where?
Gas is down. The vault is started.
Yeah, and remember, LRC, they have to find where MXKX is holding out. You'll notice that Grief Party is basically playing Protect the President to keep their healer up, and MXKX is doing everything to make sure that he's not going to get caught off guard. But as LRC tries to set up in a way to try and get a cheeky steal on Cash Out, we are going to see that their heavy is left alone out of nowhere. Now, we do see the rest of the team coming through the back. Big Glitch Grenade going to make no healing worth it. That means we just get full aim coming out of MXKX here. He's going to be able to take out 2 there. 1 player left on LRC. And as the player on LRC does get the kill on the Carnifex, we don't even have to waste the fib. We've got just enough time here to go for the soft res while NetX chases down to get that heavy on heavy action. Now, we will see MXKX and Carnifex reset up on the point here. Remember, this is going to be a modified version of Quick Cash to get that last round feel, but that means that there's infinite coins and those coin timers are a little bit faster. So the members of LRC gonna be already back in action, coining back in, and that is why we see the team avoiding the rest of that team fight and just getting ready to set back up for the next fight.
I don't see it on studio or farm.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if they really have a lot of time. LRC needs to dive on it pretty quick. And Grief Party's got a great setup already. They've got a nice barricade. Their team, Grief Party's pretty spread out, shockingly. But I guess it works in their advantage when they can kind of get together real quick and just kind of stop the steal. The steal is trying to happen.
Oh,
get the heavy down.
Portal! MXKX takes Carnifex's portal and pops up in the heavens. Gonna pop the gas here. Gas is gonna pop him back, but that's gonna be all right. They get the 10K, and now we're on to the last vault. But wow, huge portal play there.
What is that? Again?
Yeah, and honestly, both teams are pretty evenly matched. This is quite the showdown, honestly. It looks like Grief Party might be able to get to this vault next. They are spawned right near it. But he does have 2 teammates down, and it'll depend on how closely they spawn to him. Actually, no, it seems like LRC was able to open it. I really wish we had the other POV.
Ooh, and there we go. Spoiler is going to go down first here. Vault fight already not looking too good for LRC. They're not in a good place to go and get that res. And as Blacks goes down as well, we find ourselves in a good early team wipe here for Grief Party. And that means that hospital cash out is now a viable option. This is going to be so difficult for LRC because this is basically the castle. This is a setup for Grief Party. However, the foggy event on Seoul here, the foggy weather pattern, makes it extremely hard to keep a good eye on where LRC might be coming from. Not only that, but the crane is still in play. Let's see if that barrel is going to be enough. We got one more try to knock down that crane, but those red barrels getting ever so unstable. Looks like it's not actually going to work the way you wanted it to. It means that they're going to have to spend another little bit of time to try and get this crane off. They just need one to hit where it needs to. There it is. Crane is down. Makes it a little bit easier. Oh, and just
You
in
want me to
time
put
too,
APS
it
in
looks
the
like
corner,
LRC
maybe,
was
like
setting
below?
up to
So they
try
don't
and
know
use the
maybe
crane.
I think it's a pad from the right.
Yeah, and this really is a castle. It's one of the hardest
One
areas
medium
to,
is
to attack from
One medium
because
is
you
on
can
the
just
left side
drop
there.
it and it's on another
Okay.
floor. You can set up every room is a hospital room, so it's just kind of not the
They
best
set up on the
spot
roof.
for where you want to be attacking from. Defensive wise, they're in a really good
They're gonna
position
do it. They're gonna do the corner
as the
thingy.
time just starts to tick
Default
away.
shit,
We're already a
default
quarter of the way in, and LRC is still a good distance away, and they are just not getting up.
Oh, they
on a
take
lot
the
of
jump
room.
pad here, but are they going to
One
be
tap.
able to
One is full
survive the
HP,
way
nice.
up? Oh, spoiler, goes down, and he's not going to be easily resable all the way out in the middle of the open.
dropping him,
Black's
dropping
going to
him.
be able to stay up here. The res does come through, but he's going to get taken out once more by Carnifex. Now, it looks like LRC threw a barricade in the door to prevent Grief Party from chasing after them, but they have a jump pad ready to go, getting back up onto the roof. The question is LRC going to be able to do this with just two players? They're going to try to get in for the steal here. KX working out exactly where to enter
dead,
from.
medium dead, it's
The
only
steal
heavy,
going to come
push him.
through, but one more player going to go down. Nathan, now Carnifex just has to go for the stun. He gets the stun off. That means Black gets killed anymore. He takes out MXKX. Carnifex is on the other side, though, with NetX. They're going to take out Blacks. It's not going to be a team wipe, though. One player still up. Oh, no, is it a team wipe? Is that just a visual bug? Yeah, there is still one player up. There he is, and he got the res off as well. But Nason's going to go back down here. Spoiler, good for one, but that is going to be the end. He doesn't even get the one. That's going to be the end of the game.
Yeah, and honestly, we saw a lot of the damage happen as soon as they hit that jump pad. And for people that don't play a lot of FPSs, when you're in the air and somebody has decent aim, it really lets you kind of get hone in on them because you can start tracking their trajectory and where they're going to kind of start going down, and it makes it a really easy target. But it was the only way that they were able to jump and make the distance, because otherwise they would just be stuck on the bridge. So it's kind of one of those, like, throw it down, but know that you're going to take some damage from it. And unfortunately, they just weren't able to recover from that. There was some great gameplay from Grief Party. Honestly, really shocked to see. I thought LRC was going to be in control and in charge this whole game, and they just let it slip.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, if you don't have a light player and you don't have that portal, you're losing out on so much value just in that one cash out spot. Because on Soul, and this is why so many people ban Soul, is for that cash out specifically. Because if you start it there, you're going to end it there. It is so difficult to find your way across that green open funnel space unless you have a jump pad. But even then, like you said, it's just aim labs at that point. And MXKX, you know that this person, he plays his grid shot, but he also plays his tracking training as well. That's going to be the end of map 1, but we got another map coming soon. Let's see where this is going to take us and what the difference is going to be between the setups. Looks like the setups are going to be the same. We are in now in the POV of LRC. Yeah, we are the POV of LRC here. Vault 1 already started from Grief Party, but Grief Party nowhere to be seen after getting it started.
Yeah, looks like LRC has the early lead. The vault is spawned on a weird area, kind of in the middle of that top area. It makes it hard to get around that corner, and you can really set up defensively. LRC looks like they're going to grab the vault and running away from it. They're going straight to vault, or to cash out A. Pretty much uncontested. They just seem to have gotten in and gotten out. I'm curious to see what Grief Party is even thinking right now.
Absolutely, but there's cash out A, and well, if Grief Party is watching the vault, which I know they are, they know that it's going to be cash out A, which means Grief Party not far behind. They might be going for an underbelly approach and dropping the cash out with C4. They might try to go on this outside area or just from the other side of the building. But time will tell as Grief Party tries to make their way in. Looks like LRC is sweating. They have no idea. But the APS not going to go out yet. Not going to be committed at the moment. Instead, they are just holding out, waiting for Grief Party to show their face.
I think Grief Party has to drop it at this point. I mean, it's such a hard area to push into this corner that they need to go down from the conference room to the lower level just to have that more open area. It's just such a hard area to push into, and especially with the two APS turrets, it kind of stops the RBG push, and we do see them starting to chip away from the bottom, and we can see Nason healing and just kind of keeping his team in check. But
there we go. I think that
Party
they
is taking their
realize
time.
Yeah, and LRC just realized that they are going to have to prevent the drop here. That's why we see the APS get moved right on top of the cash out. And Grief Party, well, they have got no other options but to go in through that front door. So they're going to try. The mesh barrier are going to be doing a little bit here, but unfortunately, we see NetX taking so much damage. But the glitch is going to go off. This is going to mean one healer is unavailable at the current moment, but that wears off faster than it starts. Carnifex going to go down. A good trade here. NetX also going down. And there's MXKX. Unfortunately, they weren't able to find a way in, and that's a free cash out one for LRC.
Yeah, I don't know what they were doing. They really just needed to drop it down because this top area is just so hard. It's a little tiny bunker in itself, unless you can jump in from behind. I don't know why they took the kind of like, let's come in on the side. It just did not work out for them, and like you said, it is a free cash out for LRC. LRC did do great at holding defensively here, but again, it's one of the more easier spots in my opinion.
Absolutely. It's a really good showing for LRC to start things off. You know, they wanted to come in strong after losing Soul, but at the same time, Grief Party not too worried at the moment. They still got 2 more cash outs to fight out here, but as NetX goes down first in this opening team fight, Grief Party might have to just kiss this one goodbye as well and just go reset up at a cash out. I don't think they'll be maintaining control over this vault for too much longer.
Nason is having out the defib, so I think we might see another play in just a little bit. Because nobody is down, and he just constantly pulls those out. There's the teleport, and they're able to really clear a lot of distance, and they just chucked that vault, and they should be able to kind of get it.
Oh, huge team fight here. NetX doing some work here. MXKX taking out Spoiler as well. Nason narrowly escapes with his life here. Tries to go for the defib. Does end up working out, but it looks like Grief Party just has too much control at the current moment. That's going to be the vault coming back into the hands of Grief Party. It was all part of the plan all along.
Yeah, that was actually unexpected. They took that fight really aggressively, just like overly confident, I would say, and it kind of bit them. The Grief Party was able to kind of hold back and get the kills that they needed. And here we see Nason jumping back into it, has his team with him, and they're going to run. And I'm curious what they take. They're going to take a slow approach, or if they're just going to barge in and kind of go explosive.
Absolutely. It's gonna be you know, just a sign of the times of how they're able to get in. If it's gonna be early, if they're gonna get stopped a little bit abruptly by MXKX, then maybe they're not gonna be able to, you know, take the time that they need to set up for this approach. But if they can kind of get in without any friction, then they'll have enough time to sort of set up a true plan here. But cash out B on this point is so hard to get into. Campus is such a difficult area to find an easy in, so dropping it is kind of the only option. And this is exactly what Grief Party should have done that first time around. Look at that. The APS, the shields, it's just enough to get the steal off in time. Nason, Black's going down to half HP. Black does get taken out. Nason quick to try and find an entry with the paddles, but he's not going to be able to. He gets caught out by Carnifex here. 1 player remaining for LRC here in the opening fight.
Yeah, they were able to steal it, but it didn't work out for them because they didn't get enough kills to begin with. And at that time, Grief Party was able to kind of swoop back in and just stop them. They're easily going to get this steal back. And the 2 people that are up for Grief Party for LRC are just kind of hiding until Blax was able to respawn. Blax is now back into play, and you see them starting to go back because they really have to run or they're about to lose this vault as well.
Oh yeah, I think we just briefly saw a glimpse of Grief Party. They're on the height here, gonna try to jump back in on top of everybody. And there it is. Black's gonna start off strong by taking out Carnifex here. NetX trades out to take out Spoiler, but it's just a 1-on-3. Not gonna work out. The steal comes through at the last possible second, and that's going to be a quick win for LRC, bringing us all the way to Skyway for map 3.
Wow, you'd love to see it. They definitely kind of learned from what they did wrong in the last match, and were able to kind of come back and show what I was expecting from them in the last match. So that was a great great matchup, and I think that this third round will show us kind of who is the leader of these two teams.
Yeah, super unfortunate for Grief Party there. They weren't able to find an in. Again, on that first cash out, if you drop it early on, then that would have at least given enough time for LRC to, you know, stumble around and maybe not get a good entry. And on that second one, well, it was just down to that last team fight. They won 2 team fights in the at the beginning of that cash out, but it always comes down to that last cash out. That last one is the one that matters the most, and unfortunately for them, it didn't quite work out. But hey, we're going to be seeing map 3, and if I know that these two teams are competitive, well, I think that we're going to see cash out 3 on map 3. What are your predictions for Skyway Stadium?
I definitely think that this will go to the last cash out. I think that both teams are pretty evenly matched, and shockingly so. Grief Party can hold their own, but LRC kind of has that blast in, and they know when to retreat and kind of not just commit and get a team wipe. We saw that happen in the last game where they lost 2 people, pulled off until they got reset. And I just kind of expect that we're going to see more great plays like that. A lot of good teamwork, basically.
Absolutely. And it does look like we're going to be having a pretty standard mode of Skyway Stadium. Don't have to worry about anything too crazy here. No up, down, left, right. Standard case here for the map, and as we get that standard spawn, that also means no large risen middle structure. We're going to be getting the most vanilla version of this map possible, and we see LRC sprinting to the vault, glitch barrel in hand already. I think there's no big change-ups here, and Nason going to be sticking to the model 1887. Good to see, and the defib's already out and ready to go. Now, the 1887 on this map is a dodgy pick because Grief Party decides to go for any of the interior cash outs later into this match. Could be difficult, but look at this. Immediate damage going to pop through, but it's not going to be enough. Nason actually can't stick up to it. He gets res here, but is it going to be enough? Looks like Nason is going to be able to do a little bit of work here. NetX and MXKX are already down to only up to their light player, and nowhere to be seen. Good escape from Grief Party. LRC taking control of the first vault.
Yeah, I think that the shotgun, the model 1887, is really kind of, it came in clutch there because you saw him just jump in. The first shot he got from the air, and then the second shot he was right in the medium's face and just kind of blasted him away. They did get the trade, but immediately res back up by his teammate, and you can see them now running over to cash out A, and I think that they're going to get this uncontested. I think that Grief Party might meet them here, but they're definitely going to get the first start.
Yep, and as we see cash out A on the top of the office building here, Nason gonna scout around for glitch barrel. Luckily, there's one close enough. And this is going to be where things start to heat up. Grief Party, nowhere to be seen, but it's going to be an interesting approach. They might have to, you know, treat this like that first match and try and drop it down. Look at that. They start off strong, taking out the heavy, but remember, you got 2 mediums to deal with. If they can't glitch out the mediums, that means that a defib might be in their near future. Instant damage as NetX goes down to that shotgun super early on. We're going to see if they can get the res, but I don't think that Grief Party's going to be able to find the res before LRC does. But look at that. MXKX and Carnifex dealing damage to both the mediums. No res coming through for LRC. That's a Grief Party win.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, they just kind of jumped in there, and LRC tried to get the distance on them, but I'm amazed that Grief Party was kind of able to hop in there and take it back. Now it's really about the setup. Can they set up, hold it? Because LRC is kind of known for being the explosive and get in there and take control. They definitely have enough time to hop in and kind of get set up. They don't have to dive on the point. They should have a little bit, and we actually see the fight happening a good distance away. Grief Party was ready and set up for them. And we see the bulk of the fight's going to happen in this middle of the area of the building, and I think that they're going to have to drop it.
They drop it down. Yep, and they're starting off with the dome to try and bait out the engagement. And look at that, there is a little bit of a split. Nason goes up to the top there. Both mediums going to go down. This is difficult for LRC as they're down to just a heavy, already at half HP. Now, he will be able to find a kill on MXKX here, but there's just too much damage to pull off. A 1v2, maybe. But a 1v3, not gonna happen. And we see Grief Party, they're gonna have to reset up again because now it's not on the roof anymore. Try to find one more, but at the very least, I don't think there's gonna be much to worry about. LRC running out of time. In fact, I think it is impossible at this point.
Yeah.
So they're just going to reset up for the next vault.
Yep, that's the smart play. I mean, just running in there and dying just doesn't make sense. Even if they're able to get a few kills off, it just doesn't set them up properly for this next vault. And hopefully that they've got a good spawn near it. I can't tell how far away it is, but I think that LRC will be able to get to it first. But I'm not sure what they're doing now. They're just kind of set up inside this one building. I guess they're waiting to intercept it for when Grief Party passes them, but it's still quite a gamble to take.
Especially given the fact that Grief Party, they're running the light with the portals. So, you know, they're kind of banking on this. And, I mean, hey, it kind of worked out in the fact that they did meet Grief Party. Did not work out in the fact that Spoiler went down first. Black's at half HP. Nason missing the shotgun shots that he needs to hit here. But what is this? Wait a second. It just worked out at the very end there. I was convinced that Grief Party was going to be able to win that fight, but two well-placed headshots from Nason 808. That model 1887 does so much damage.
Yep. Yeah, it's all about the close encounters, and they were set up for it. They waited in that building, and yeah, that was quite impressive. Quite some big brain moves right there, where they were able to kind of hold off and knew that they would have to walk past them. And I guess the audio cues were kind of what let them off that they were close. They put a jump pad down, hopped up, and were able to get the first kill, and just damage after damage after damage. They did lose one teammate in the process, but they were able to get him back and then just wipe the team. They're in a good spot as they head to vault.
Yeah, Cash Out B not gonna get started here as they get cut off. MXKX with the opening shots here. NetX getting a kill as well, leaving just one medium. But hey, when it's a medium up, that means it could be Res City. And look at that, soft res gonna come through as Grief Party takes control of the vault. And it looks like they took a portal as well, all the way out. And but look at this, no, they didn't take a portal at all. Instead, they tried to stay for the fight. NetX, MXKX, you know, down. Just up to the light player on Grief Party, and as Cash Out B gets started, there's no one left to defend it. So LRC going to be in a good situation here, but Spoiler gets taken out. Black's on half HP. Grief Party not out of the running yet as they're about to coin back in. Carnifex coming through with some instant stun and instant damage. Now it's down to a 1v3 in the favor of Grief Party here. Wait, there is going to be Spoiler back up, who does have the ability to heal up the heavy. Let's see how this turns out. Big damage here. Big heals as well from Spoiler. Will they be able to sustain through the three-team battle? But no, Carnifex dealing some damage. Here comes Nason back in the fight. Blacks might get taken out here, but Grief Party, they're still up and running. Look at this, one more res coming through. This is the sustain of that double medium. Nason using the defib for heals instead of kills this time. Gonna run through the flames here with that shotgun, dealing some damage, taking out Carnifex. Not taking out MXKXOs. And wow, they are going to be able to do some damage. And once again, LRC traded out into the team wipe. That was the most complex fight I've ever seen.
Yeah, I was amazed at the amount of times that people went down, got rezzed, got pulled in, pulled out of fighting. It was quite pretty much chaos. Now LRC has to just dive on this point, and I think by the time they get there, this might be almost over. They have the jump pads and they're going to get good distance, but still they are like 100 meters away, and they have to run over there. And by the time they even get on it, they're just getting chip damage from the roof. It's not looking good for LRC at this point.
Yeah, this is starting off really, really good, and I think that's the end of the game, honestly, for LRC. Is Grief Party 2-0s, and hey, I guess we just eat our words here. We lose out on that third cash out that we were so confident that we were going to see, but that just goes to show how strong Grief Party is on the on Skyway Stadium as a third map. That is incredible performance as they locked it down every time. But yeah, that was such an insane last fight, given the fact that it started off as a 1v3 with one player on LRC and three players up on with MXKX going out early on. The defibs have, there's so much happened that I'm actually gonna have to rewatch this and take notes to try and figure out the pacing of that fight, because that was just so much.
It's something you're gonna have to watch on half speed because so much happened, and there's some really smart plays there because we saw not every respawn was a defib. There was actually a couple teammates that waited the entire timer, and that fight just kept happening and kept evolving. That they were able to kind of coin back in, get back in the fight, and then re-res teammates, and it was just really great gameplay overall. And I'm kind of shocked that LRC wasn't able to take the lead on that fight, and that Grief Party just stole the win, and in 2-0 right in that match. Just amazing gameplay.
Yeah, you know, we had actually all types of respawns there. So we had the soft reses where you hold and you res over time. We had defibs, we had coins, and we had team wipe respawns. Every single type of respawn possible in one team fight is crazy.
Yeah, from both teams too. Like it wasn't just one team that was doing all this.
From both teams. But yeah, so absolutely insane. And, you know, to see LRC get knocked out this early as well, huge. So big shouts to Grief Party, who are going to be going up against No Idea. That is going to be an insane fight to watch. And we are going to watch that fight after this break.
Stall if we can, stall if we can. I gave you the pad there, Netix.
So they're all one. They're all one.
1 minute pad.
My body, putting up.
Bubbling.
Where is the medium?
One dead.
This medium is low, on my ping,
He's dead too. One dead. One HP, nice.
The medium is up, below. Yes, shoot the medium.
I'm dropping him.
Go.
I'm breaking the wall. It's 3 bars.
Let's finish. Kill one.
Nice. Pour l'instant, je peux pas heal. Calme, on est bon encore. La barricade, à gauche, attends. Carnifex, low. Il est mort. Il reste plus que le médium. Plus de la place. Mort le light. Middle sur mort. Vas-y, vol, t'inquiète, je le gère. C'est bon. Plus là. Il y a un glitch, Mickey. Oh merde, vol, yellow. Je suis pas, le light devant moi. Ouais, je peux pas, Oh, il a un dash. Ça va. Il y a sur le bar. Tuile. Vas-y, j'ai 2 balles. C'est une mauvaise. Il dit un HP. Un HP. Mort. Oh lolo. Oh d'un nom. Laser. La pixel. Ça a pris 20 000 $. Non, il a un HP, toujours sur mon corps. Il monte en haut. Le light, le poids arrive. À bas. Le poids arrive. Un HP.